Hello everyone, it's Mike from Chess Lifestyle, and today we are training probably next to no time on Woodpecker method just because I'm running extremely late. Good morning, Gloin, good afternoon. How are you doing? Um, yeah, let me quickly set up this timer. God, when am I gonna have to leave? Probably uh, in around 20 minutes. Because I'm tight for time, I do want to get into these woodpecker method exercises as soon as possible. But what I would want to just say is that, yeah, my opponent yesterday found some incredible defensive play to not go down. Which I mean, like, if I had his position, I would have lost like 1,000 times. So really, big respect to Mr. Shivakuma, and I will definitely be keeping tabs on this kid because I think the level he showed once he was in a tough spot, I mean, was really impressive. And the one thing I want to quickly show is a tactic that I was really hoping would come up on the board, and then we'll get into some very quick training. Um, is it Shivakuma. Like, what a guy. So, I mean, basically, I played like this c3 Venom position, and I entered into c takes d4, which might seem very unambitious, but there is this difference between the knights, where there's potential for the knight to make this maneuver. Also, I've got the better bishop, so there is a tiny bit to play for, even if the engine says zeros. And I also knew that my opponent was a Stonewall Dutch player. And the fact that he hadn't played f5, I presume that his coaches are probably telling him, okay, Akshaf, time to stop playing Stonewall Dutch. So, I intentionally give him the most dull position possible, where he's either going to spend a lot of time, which he did, and play the Stonewall Dutch anyway. And I had some ideas on how to handle this. And basically, I got a really nice position where I was trying to bring a knight to e5, potentially try and take over on the c file. This was kind of like the idea. And at this moment here, when he played the move rook c7, I thought that he was trying to bait a mistake from me, because it's really encouraging this knight g5, right? And I thought the whole point was that what he wanted to do was play knight takes d4. And the point is that, I can't take this rook in between because he takes my queen with check, so I have to take back. And then, I thought he was going to try and take on c1 so that he can make this fork. And basically, if I have to play a move like queen e3 to defend both, then black stays a pawn up. At least this was the thought I had. But I realized that in this position, I can actually play queen e6. And of course, rook f7 is losing, so they have to play king h8. And I thought maybe it was an idea to try and draw. Because of course taking here would lead to this back rank checkmate. So I thought maybe he'll just play king g8 and say that, okay, there's no good discoveries and this is just a draw, like knight h6, knight f7, and it's a draw. But what I realized was you don't have the typical, classic checkmate, because knight will take and then the rook is still defending f7 mate. In this position, I saw that I could play the move rook c1. And I was like, oh my god, please enter this, because I mean rook c1 is a hard move. Oh, sorry, rook c8 is a hard move to see from afar, and the point being is if the knight takes, well then we can deliver mate, and if the rook takes, then again we can deliver checkmate. No matter what piece they take with, we can deliver mate like this. So I thought maybe this was his idea when he allowed knight g5, and I have the feeling that he might have, because I mean, I took some time to double check that knight g5 was actually winning. And during that time, he was also thinking very hard, and in the end, he ended up just playing rook f6, which was indeed the best move. But of course, then now the rooks are uncoordinated a bit, and my idea was to try and double on the c file. But I seem to remember, I was very afraid if I try and play a move like rook c3 already, I was afraid of tactics working out for black already. I guess maybe none of this is working. Okay, there's queen h5 in between move. That's a very cool move. Hadn't considered that. But yeah, anyway, so okay, I mean he played really well. I mean we get this position where I get the C file, and yeah, this little shimmy was quite nice, and he's really low on time, and basically we get this position where I felt like, this is like really close to being lost for black, because black's got this weak e6 pawn, black's advanced their pawns on the queen side. I just thought this had to be winning. And he plays king g7 like on intuition, which turns out to be the best move. I played queen a4. I mean, he's so close to blundering each time. He literally picked up his queen, almost went to b6, and I was like, okay, plays queen b6, lights are out. I mean, I literally go queen e8 and I win the game. And then he finds queen d8. And I'm like, oh, are you kidding me? Okay, you've stopped both threats. Okay, fine. Queen b5. He plays king f6, which allows me to go knight d7. So I thought this was inaccurate. Now I've got even more pressure. And then he plays queen c7. I play queen a6 to attack here. He blocks knight c6. I play queen e8 to try and infiltrate. He plays knight d8. So I play knight b3, attacking here, protecting this square. He goes knight b7, and I go queen a7. And I really think that, this is completely winning now. Because, I mean, how does he defend the threat of knight c5? Winning the knight? I mean, it's just over. And with like hardly any time, he finds queen e7, which is like the only move in this position to fight on. I take this, and we get this position on move 40. So I think for like, 15 minutes here, I think, and I ended up not finding the right plan here. And yeah, to discuss this position in greater detail, I mean, this would take the rest of the stream. So I will get on with doing my Woodpecker now. But yeah, it was tough. It was tough. Like, I mean, honestly, respect to my opponent for, defending so well. I mean, like, I think I would have collapsed in this position. And also, I mean, there was one later point. Where was it? Yeah, this moment here. I mean, basically, I'd calculated that if he tries to take all my pawns, this is like the most insane position, right? Because like he's literally got all 5 of these pawns and a queen, and I've just got a single pawn, but I'm still winning. And like, I have to be really careful to make sure that I'm not messing any of this up. But no, he avoided this and played the only drawing move, queen a6, and yeah, time and time again he was finding like these only moves to stay in the game. So honestly, just respect to this kid. I mean, like, he found some incredible moves. So yeah, honestly, not too bummed about the loss, but what I would say, it did take a lot of energy out of me. So what I'm really hoping is that I'll be able to give this game the best shot that I can. I'm playing a decently strong player, because I mean my opponent, he's 1800 FIDE, but I wouldn't be fooled by this. I mean, he's from the club Hammersmith. I know that Hammersmith have regular meetups and play a lot. Like, he's definitely, gonna be a half decent player. So basically, yeah, I will try my best, and will not, get complacent about this guy by any stretch of imagination. So with the remaining 12 minutes we have, let us do some Woodpecker training just to see some moves and get a little bit sharp. Yeah, I know, you should be concerned with the 5 connected passes, and I spent a lot of time calculating this, because, at every point in that endgame, I had a perpetual check. I could just take the draw and just agree to draw. But I was like, I really think that this is winning, and I was correct. And then he finds queen a6, and it's like a draw with like perfect play. It's just unbelievable how he played so well. Like, but yeah, honestly, just respect. I mean, yeah. Anyway, okay, Pauli against Ave, white to play and beat Ave. So we got queen, rook, rook, queen, rook, rook, bishop, 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 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so we're a pawn down. This pawn is an absolute menace. Black, we presume, can still castle on both sides. So in this position, what can we note? Queen is loose, bishop is loose. Black is underdeveloped. White's bishop is shining, queen is shining. Bishop potentially can join the attack. Rook is underdeveloped. I guess it is a bit underdeveloped. Rook is on the f-file. Okay, given that this is loose, I mean, it definitely begs the question of whether bishop g6 is just winning, right? Because if pawn takes, queen takes, there's no king f8 to defend the bishop because of mate. And if bishop takes, pawn takes, queen takes, king d8, we take the bishop. And we're very happy to be a pawn up. So bishop takes pawn. What if they play a move like king d8 or king f8 and they just ignore it? Well, then we regain our pawn. And that's already pretty strong. I mean, were there any other candidate moves to consider here to throw in, like b4? Does that make a difference? Probably not, right? I mean, the queen has any number of moves. Maybe they even play a strong defensive move somehow. Don't think b4 can make a big difference here. Yeah, I think we just sack. Okay, so the guy just blunders. We'll take it. Yeah, and I did see this move. I just thought nothing of it. I thought, like, you know, at the very least we can go queen g3. And it's fine. Probably bishop f4 is even stronger because, you know, we're just developing a piece. This makes perfect sense. I don't really see what the danger is. Let's play bishop f4. Very nice. Okay, instead of being a pawn down, white is a pawn up. Opposite colored bishops gives black full compensation, but that's clearly better than the alternative to have a clearly worse position. Right. I'm surprised that taking the bishop is even correct, though. I mean, surely you'd rather just not be a pawn down. Why can't you run? Bishop h5 and the king is permanently weak here. Oh. And if bishop king e8... Still bishop h5, wow. Trying to understand the evaluation here. So I guess material's equal, but you've got the bishop pair each. So there's no imbalance of opposite colored bishops. And maybe that just means that the fact that black has all these issues, black is just much worse. Whereas in the main line, even though you go a pawn down, at least you have some compensation, right? Your pieces are quite active, you have opposite colors, so this is just a better better option. Also, I'm surprised queen g3 loses. Wow, king c7 and it gets really, really horrible. That's quite unbelievable. I did not, you know, sense that my king was in grave danger here. Maybe I should, to be honest. So maybe that's something to consider, given this bishop takes sacrifice. Like, be careful about this. Which I didn't pick up on. So, okay, let's do another. Oh, wow, okay, Gloin has been playing over the board 3 to 4 days a week, practicing for a tournament. That's exactly what you should try and do. Staunton Gambit against the Dutch with much success. Okay, very nice. Yeah, I think when you can play one of these, like, legit side weapons against a side weapon, and you know it very well, this is a really good way to go. Because the thing is, if you ever play main lines against a sideline, the issue is that although objectively it's going to be quite good, you can bet your bottom dollar that the sideline player knows that main line very well, because they have to, right? They have to know that main line very well, otherwise they will just simply get smoked, and they'll also have more experience of it than you, so much better to pick a strong sideline against a sideline, as opposed to picking a main line. But okay, we've got Botvinnik against Kagan. White to play. Okay, rook, queen, knight, bishop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, equal material, but knight versus bishop. We've got the double rooks on the c file. Queen is fairly active on e2. Knight is beautiful on c5. Black is underdeveloped with the rook and bishop. Queen is loose. Rook on c6 is loose. And yeah, finally we move on to Botvinnik as well. So... The problem is the knight is a diagonal away from the queen, so where can we I mean, okay, what's the idea in this position? Well, maybe I want to try and exploit this. And maybe try, yeah, make use of like a discovery with some kind of strong effect. So the only two moves that seem to win material with the knight jump is either knight takes a6 or knight takes d5. And knight takes d5 is interesting because if they take back, well then obviously we win the rook. And if they try and throw in rook takes c2, you've got a very interesting move, queen takes c2. And no matter how black recaptures the knight, I think we have this move queen takes c8, because if rook takes, and we've got back rank ideas. And I think even after knight takes d5, rook takes, queen takes, if they take with the pawn, let's say, and we take with the bishop, they can defend the mate with a move like queen f8. But we still want a pawn. We can always like retreat the queen and we're a pawn up. So I think for that reason, we can play it. Okay, so yeah, I guess the book just wants to show the tactic. But this is winning a pawn, exactly. A new book of Botvinnik's best games coming out. Very interesting. I've never really studied the best games of Botvinnik. Yeah, I wonder how useful of a exercise that would be. Probably quite useful. How am I doing for time? Okay, I've got time for one final one, and then I've got to rush off. So I've got queen, rook, rook, queen, rook, rook, bishop, bishop against bishop, knight. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm a pawn down. Bishop pair. Rook's on the line of their king. Queen is eyeing up g3. Bishop on f4 is looking tender. Queen is loose. Knight is being threatened. Discoordination. Coordinated but lack of development. Bishop loose. Awkward pawn. Okay. Queen is loose as well. Maybe some x-ray. Okay, so in this position, what candidate moves do we have? We've got pawn takes f3. Do we have any checks? We do have one check, bishop h3. Do we have any captures? We've got rook takes f4, queen takes g3, bishop takes c3. So, okay, I want to look at rook takes f4. I mean, you win a piece. They take back. Not sure I see the follow-up. Okay, what about a pawn discovery move? So on any of these moves, they literally have to take my queen. Otherwise I take them. And then I could throw in another capture and then take back, right? So this would regain my material, but the center is very, very loose. Would be nice to somehow win this knight, you know, if like they take and I take and then can take, but they've always got time. So okay, if I take here, they take, and I recapture, the knight is being attacked. Probably then they have to deal with it somehow. And only now do I take once the knight is like a bit worse. Oh, and I've even got bishop g4 at the end. So I think taking is winning. Wow, not as good as ef3, queen g6, hg6, rook c1. Rook c1 is smart, right? Because knight here, then I have that tactic. Rook c1 is a very nice move. fe2, knight e2, where the bishop pair gives a clear advantage. So, okay, black is better here. So I wasn't wrong with that. But rook f4 is actually working. How on earth? So rook f4, pawn f4. I guess queen g3 must be the idea. Queen g3, and I guess you're threatening e3 and queen f2 mate. If pawn takes f4, queen g3, they cannot take on e4 because I take on c3. And then I get two pieces for the rook. Although it's not completely clear, like they take on d5. This is the only move that comes to mind. Wow, and this is just winning. Black's position is simply winning. So what if they try this fe4? Oh, the idea is bishop h3, right. Yeah, I should try and make this check work. I mean, I think it did cross my mind. But somehow I didn't see how strong it was, so maybe it didn't cross my mind after queen g3. Maybe... Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this obviously looks very good. Okay, so more candidate moves. We did still find a decent move, and unfortunately, guys, I have left it way too late to be streaming today, and I have my match in 15 minutes, so I've got to run off and go play my game. So on that note, guys, see you around, and thanks for tuning in. Okay, bye, guys.